Peloton is gifting you their best offer of the season. Get up to $600 off Peloton Bike, Bike Plus, or Tread packages. Choose the package that is right for you with accessories ranging from cycling shoes to non-slip grip dumbbells and more. Whether you have 10 minutes to spare for a strength class or 30 minutes for a running or cycling class, there's a workout that works for you with music that is truly iconic. So don't miss out on Peloton's best offer of the season. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. All access membership separate. Offer ends December 6, 2022. Excludes Bike, Bike Plus, and Tread Basic. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.
From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
Resurrected from the basement. I'm at capacity. I'm spilling out of me. It's got nothing to do with me.
It is Tuesday, October 22nd, 2019. You're listening to the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Huckabee, coming at you from Paris, France. Back over there stateside in the United States. Not quite as exotic or as interesting as Paris, but it's there, and we have to acknowledge it. And that's why I'm pleased to welcome the guy who's keeping us all sounding good over there on the ones and twos, the illustrious Chandler Strang.
Hello.
And also right there in the studio, right next to him, keeping an eye on things to make sure that that the water doesn't overflow the tank, and that keeping him alive is John David Harris. JD, how you doing?
Greetings. Doing well.
And up there in Loveland, Virginia, welcome back Jesse Carey to the Relevant Podcast. By popular demand, Jesse Carey's back.
Hello. A little under the weather. I apologize, guys.
A little under the weather today. Thank you for powering through for us, Jesse. That's your
welcome.
commitment to the craft.
You are welcome. You're getting a medicated and ill version, but I'm here to bring the people what they want, which is... Honestly, I'm not sure at this point. So,
which is a no-edit podcast. So anything that Jesse says, I don't think we can take. We have to take with a grain of salt today.
Yeah.
We do have a great show lined up for you. Coming up ahead, we've got King's Kaleidoscope is joining us to talk about their brand new album, Zeal. I had a good conversation with King's Kaleidoscope. I'm really interested to bring it to you guys. But before we get to that, I came off of, I missed Monday. I was out of the office yesterday. Even a workhorse like me has to take things one step at a time. I've got to know when to run and when to slow down a little bit to a trot so that I can kind of recover a little bit. But when I came back, when I logged back on, I saw something this isn't in slices. This isn't, we don't even have the hot list today, but we'd be remiss to not discuss the civil war brewing and senior level white evangelicalism right now between two powerhouses, Beth Moore and John MacArthur. It's a battle for the ages. It's a brawl for all time. And my Christian Twitter timeline, it's the only thing that anybody's talking about. And I only kind of caught the cliff notes of it. Can one of you guys fill me in a little bit on just the bullet points?
So I did a pretty deep dive on this yesterday, writing it up for relevantmagazine.com. And so the setup is this weekend, John MacArthur was at an event celebrating John MacArthur. It was...
this is a John MacArthur party.
This was a John MacArthur party, and they played a party game. They were celebrating his 50 years in ministry, and one of the MCs for the John MacArthur party, which there ain't no party like a John MacArthur party, because a John MacArthur party is reformed and boring. And honestly, he's kind of boring. And that's why there's no party like it, because no one would want to go. And
party might be a bit of a misnomer.
A big drag. I should say a big drag. And I have no feelings about John MacArthur one way or the other. I know people who greatly respect his work.
Sure.
I personally have not really engaged with it, not out of any kind of feelings towards him. It just wasn't sort of, kind of in my wheelhouse here. But
even at ORU, that wasn't like a Moody. That was a required. That was you needed two things on day one. You needed the Holy Bible and John MacArthur's systematic theology.
My era of ORU was more in the Raging Cajun Jesse Duplantis type of declared reading. I mean, he would literally come into the chapel and just starts screaming about money. Now, I tell you, God loves to give me money. He does. He just does. He was ORU's. Yeah. Jesse Duplantis was ORU's. Jesse, now God would say to me, Jesse, why don't you buy yourself a big plane? Jesse. Anyway, that was our John MacArthur. So I don't really know too much about John MacArthur's teachings.
That sounds like a different deep dive.
I will say this: a Jesse Duplantis party would honestly probably be a lot of fun. I've seen him pop in sneakers and preachers occasionally because he's like OG. Like he's not streetwear. Like he's head to toe like Gucci'd out. He's wearing like a Louis Vuitton leather suit head to toe. He's not a Yeezy type of guy. He's Italian. His clothes are OG luxury.
Well, he walked so the preachers and sneakers guys could run, right?
Exactly. I mean, he's next level. Like you think shelling out $400 for a Supreme hoodie is baller status. The guy has like 4 jets. There you go. Jesse Duplantis, literally, there's a video, and I think we shared it. And this isn't about him, but here we are. He literally has a wall in his office that is pictures of all the planes he's on. It's like a jet hall of fame in
Are you serious?
It's literally in his office is a jet hall of fame, just so you can go by and see all the jets he's on. Anyway, so John MacArthur is at an event celebrating 50 years of ministry by John MacArthur, as one does. And they decided to open this event or during the event, play a hilarious party game, the word association game, where the MC, by the way, who's organizing this thing where it's like, oh, we'll get John MacArthur and these old theologians, we'll play party game. So the party game, which was being emceed by the host of a show called Wretched Radio, you can tell their theological leanings probably from the name of the show. It's a real upbeat show they got there, Wretched Radio, to remind listeners of just how terrible they are.
It's the Total Depravity Hour here on Wretched Radio.
Yeah. And now eternal damnation. Question your salvation. So the party game. So it was Todd Friel, the host of Wretched Radio. It's like the Z Morning Zoo for people that like to hang out at John MacArthur parties. He decided to play a party game in which he would say 2 words, and the people on stage would have to do like a word association with them. They would get 2 words to respond to 2 words. So like, let's say right now, JD, let's play this game. Pepperoni pizza.
Ninja Turtles.
Tyler. Tony Hawk.
Skateboard.
Okay, see, this game is fun. It's lighthearted. It's lighthearted. So let's go ahead and jump into the John MacArthur party and see how it went from there.
Say a word, and then the 3 of you need to give a one or a pithy response to the word. Are you ready?
I feel like I'm being set up.
That is always the case with Todd. Watch out for him. He will try.
This is a party.
We're going to start out. This is just kind of touching your toes. Easy setup for you. Let's begin with an easy one. The word is Beth Moore.
That's 2 words.
Literalist. All right. Dr. MacArthur, Beth Moore.
How many words do I get?
You know, actually, and before you answer this, please think carefully this time, because last time you did a one-word association. The guy wrote a book about it, and we don't want that.
I was thinking of the same word.
Okay.
Go home.
Wow.
All right. No, let it play. Let it play. The party gets even crazier.
I see we're warmed up. Why dilly-dally?
There's no case that can be made biblically for a woman preacher. Period. Paragraph. End of discussion.
Whoa. Hold on, keep going. Just wait to see how condescending and
Let me
bullying.
see if I can get a clarification on that. Got one. Phil, anything to add?
No, the word that comes to my mind is narcissistic. I think the first time I saw her, I thought, she is, this is going back to the last session of what Mike said, this is what it looks like to preach yourself rather than Christ.
All right. And
In fact, she has said that. She said,
Oh my gosh.
I read the Bible and I try to find myself in the narrative. I put myself in the narrative. And that is exactly what she does.
I heard John MacArthur say period, paragraph, end of story.
all right, one more, and then we will get into our video clips.
I would just add one thing.
Please do.
Just
Please add one more.
the skill to sell jewelry on the TV sales channel doesn't mean you should be preaching.
What on earth?
There are people who have certain hawking skills, natural abilities to sell. They have energy and personality and all of that. That doesn't qualify you to preach.
The context of this is John MacArthur is having the lamest party ever. With a bunch of people that think bullying is just hilarious, especially bullying someone. He goes on in that clip to criticize the Me Too movement, the Church Too movement. John MacArthur does. Let's real quick, for people who don't know a lot about Beth Moore. Not only is she an incredible Bible teacher, an incredible preacher, an incredible writer, and a genuinely awesome person, but she is also a advocate for sexual abuse survivors. Her work is helping a ton of people. It's helping expose injustice, and it's helping women get justice for crimes committed against them by leaders in the church. This is the person that John MacArthur has chosen to publicly bully for no reason, to compare her to a TV jewelry salesman. Now, there was a lot of reaction online, but I think from here, it's probably just good to read Beth Moore's, to be honest with you. A lot of people came to her defense, but I do want to say, I think this is, isn't there a Bible? You guys both went to Bible school. What's the Bible verse that says something about a clanging gong? If you say he can teach all the truths he wants, but if he's going to act like a big jerk, then what is that? You're just a clanging gong making noise. And in his case, he's just being a big bully. But anyway, here's how Beth Moore responded. She said, this is on Twitter. I did not surrender to a calling of man when I was 18 years old. I surrendered to a calling of God. It never occurs to me for a second not to fulfill it. I will follow Jesus and Jesus alone all the way home, and I will see his beautiful face and proclaim, worthy is the Lamb. Here's the beautiful thing about it, and I mean this with absolute respect. You don't have to let me serve you. That gets to be your choice. Whether or not I serve Jesus is not up to you. Whether I serve you certainly is. One way or the other, I esteem you as my sibling in Christ. That's what taking the high road looks like. And that's what a truly awesome person looks like. So on one side, we see what these old bullies are willing to do and expose their true colors. And on the other side, we get to see Beth Moore, who is such a great example, I think, for so many Christians of how to respond to criticism with class and in a way that, isn't backing down from her calling. And so, but it that kind of blew up Christian internet yesterday, and for good reason, because I think it exposes two people, one as a bully and the other as someone with a lot of class.
Yeah.
And I think, go ahead, JD.
Well, I was just saying it's crazy. I mean, even like the early church had these issues, and there's an entire chapter in Galatians that's specifically talking about this, where they're arguing over like the letters of the law that they need to follow. And Paul basically points out that they're all now clothed in Christ and they should treat each other as such. And that's where the famous, like, there's neither slave nor free, nor Jew nor Greek, nor male nor female, but all one together in Christ. That's where that comes from. And it's addressing the same, like, for lack of a better term, the same like spirit, the same like zeitgeist that's present in this John MacArthur clip, where they're just sitting there and they're just like wanting to lob some scripture or some tradition at someone who's actively pursuing the work of Christ. And it's like, guys, like, this is in there. Like, you're supposed to be like, you wrote a freaking study Bible. He has his own John MacArthur study Bible, and there's an entire like chapter of Galatians that's devoted to this exact problem. And it's and instead they're just going to sit on stage and bully her and laugh about it. And it's one thing to like have theological discussion or debate and say like, I don't necessarily believe that this office is available to everyone or whatever. But it's another thing to like the tone and just the spirit from which it comes from is just so harsh and so negative and mean and bullying.
It's cruel. And can you imagine? Was it Mary and Martha at the tomb, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mary at the tomb, running back, seeing that that Christ is no longer dead, as he promised after 3 days after his crucifixion, that he has risen from the dead. Can you imagine her running back to tell her fellow Christians, he is risen, he's risen. And they say, go home.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
if we wanted a jewelry salesman to tell us this, then we would.
Right.
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
She was the first Christian. She was the entirety of the church in the hours after Jesus' resurrection. And I understand here I'm not blind to a little bit of the irony of three guys yelling about this on the podcast. And I don't want to pretend that's not the case here. And I'm aware too that what MacArthur said in that clip very explicitly is the subtext of things that many women in the church have been hearing their whole lives, just not quite as out and out as brashly as that maybe. And I know that I've been part of those systems, and it's a lifelong process for a lot of guys to learn how to take themselves out of those systems and to be an advocate for women. But when you hear that, it really throws into very stark relief how deeply embedded that kind of misogyny is everywhere in culture. But it's especially sad when you see it in the church, and especially among someone like MacArthur, who has so much influence and power among a certain brand of evangelicals. So that's just really, really heartbreaking. And especially for somebody like Beth Moore, who's been really kind of us at Relevant. And I know her ministry has been like so powerful and so effective for so many people, men and women, for decades now. For decades, it's just absurd to accuse her of being a charlatan. That's not the fruit. Just doesn't speak to that at all.
Yeah, especially at your own celebration party.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I think the other moral of the story here is John MacArthur throws the lamest parties.
Well, things were getting me up. That got a little heavier than I wasn't aware. I was not aware, dipping into the conversation, quite how bad that was. That was really. I've been aware of some of MacArthur's rougher edges for a while. I wasn't aware of how toxic that got. That's very, very heartbreaking. And infuriating. But Team Beth over here on this side of the conversation. Well, that's just the beginning. That's just the first taste of the podcast. We still got a whole that was all listed under our little like written up breakdown here as banter. So I can't wait to see where the rest of this podcast goes. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, slices. You're listening to Weird Ways by Strand of Oaks. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard Capacity by Charlie Bliss. Now we're going to get into slices here. But before we do that, Jesse's going to tell you about today's sponsor.
Yeah. Today's sponsor is kind of a unique one, and I have been using this product for a couple weeks now because they sent me some, and it's premium CBD oil, and it's delivered right to your doorstep. Now, I know kind of navigating the world of CBD it's kind of complicated, and a lot of people, don't know where to start. But I'm telling this, I'm being legit. The guys on this podcast, I'll just be forthright with everyone. I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety because of some things happening in my life right now. And honestly, man, this is a product that I don't say lightly. It really has helped. I'm going to read you a little bit about the product itself. It's a premium CBD that will keep your head clear and help you feel your best. CBD has been proven to greatly reduce anxiety, pain, and sleeplessness. Those are, the anxiety and sleeplessness are things I've been dealing with. And like I said, this product has helped. Navigating that world can be complicated. At Feels, they feel like they should make the process as simple as possible. They also have a free CBD hotline and tech support help guide to help you through the discovery process as you're figuring out how this product can work for you. Feels has a hassle-free membership program and is guaranteed to help you feel your best after a month, or you get your money back. You save money on every order, and you can pause or cancel at any time. And it's shipped directly into the door to your doorstep in just a few days. Feels is the new, natural, healthy, better way to feel better. And I would say this too, the packaging is actually really cool. Like, it is a cool product. It comes with a cool little instruction booklet. Feels has me feeling my best every day, and it can help you too. Become a member today by going to feels.com/relevant, and you'll get 50% off your first order with free shipping. That's Feels, FEALS.com/relevant to become a member and get 50% automatically taken off your first order with free shipping. That's feels.com/relevant.
All right. Thanks, Jesse. And with that, let's get into slices. JD, what'd you bring us?
Did you guys ever do Halloween, like, as kids? Did you?
Not really.
No.
Are you referring to Harvest Party?
No, like, oh yeah. So like, what did you do? Did you do the Harvest Party thing at your church?
We did both Halloween. There were a few harvest parties when I was younger, but yeah, I did Halloween later on. Yeah, I dressed up and trick or treated when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I did both, JD. I would sometimes go to a harvest party that was lamer than a John MacArthur celebration of John MacArthur. And then I would go trick or treating with my friends. I did it all.
I did. For me, it was when I was younger. It was no trick or treating because that's the devil, obviously. And then as I got older, I just was like, well, I'm going to go anyway. But it was like after I was past the like trick or treating prime kind of thing, so it was kind of strange. But this year, there's a new player in the trick or treating game, and it is our friend over at the Creation Museum. Ken Ham is getting involved in the trick-or-treating business because he has, instead of candy, just handing out candy, that's kind of boring, right? You go from house to house and it's candy, candy, candy. Well, Ken Ham has a special new thing that you can give out your people, and it is a special $1 million Dino Bucks from the Creation Museum that looks like a dollar bill with a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex popping his head through the bill. And guess what could be better than $1 million Dino Bucks, but a tract about the eternal damnations of hell on the back of the party. So if you thought like, oh, sweet fun, no, this is Halloween, it's got to be scary, so we're going to talk about eternal damnation. Now, what's great is...
Can I ask a clarifying question really fast? Because I'm a little lost. So I get it. It's one of those tracks that like fools you, like the bait and switch, where you think you're getting money and it ends up being like disappointed. Well, you'll be more disappointed when you die and go to hell, right?
Right.
I've seen those.
But it's worse though.
What's the currency translation with Dino Bucks and wretched dollars?
Right. So that's the problem. Normally
reminders
$1
of just how crappy you are.
Yeah.
And then what is it? How many do you need to have John MacArthur come and bully you and yell at you?
Yell at you into your face.
Maybe there's like a whole set that you have to collect or something. But it's what's funny about
this one has a dinosaur skeleton where George Washington would be or something.
Well, it's even worse because like the bait and switches are like, it kind of looks like real money. But then you flip it over and it's not. This one doesn't even look like real money. I mean, it sort of looks like real money, but it's like brown and kind of look like it's carved out of stone. No,
on the subway or anything.
And like the Tyrannosaur head that's like in the place. It's not just like inside the little crest like George Washington. It is literally bursting through the paper. So it's like they totally have like mixed together like, $1 million track, Jurassic World promotional video, Smash it together, eternal damnation. Now, what's great is Ham claims that that kids love these, is what he says. He says kids love getting these, and the funny money is worth far more than $1 million, which would make it, for $8.99 for a set of 200, it would be an absolute steal, right? Yeah.
Bargain.
And there's another one that that's if your kids aren't really into dinosaurs and that whole theme, there's a whole nother theme, and I haven't seen a picture of it, but it's even better because for some of those kids, maybe your older trick or treaters, they have one that's all about lust and how basically lusting on someone is like committing adultery, so you're going to hell forever. So
what's we don't know what the image
I don't know what the image on that one is. Yeah, it's probably a pterodactyl flying through
what that
in front of
looks like.
Yeah, but no, he's saying that kids love them, and it's a way he's urging people to buy and distribute these and other items that he sells, like booklets about the evils of modern day Halloween. So it's kind of strange. This man has written pamphlets and books and stuff all about how Halloween is evil, but we can redeem it a little bit if you buy things from my store and hand them out instead of candy on
I'll just
Satan's
monetize
holiday.
it. I'll create an alternative that's not really an alternative, and I will monetize it to make money. Yeah.
Exactly. So strange. That's not necessarily a new play from his handbook, but it is it's an interesting one.
The handbook.
The handbook. When I saw the headline, to be honest, I saw creationist Ken Ham wants to threaten kids with eternal hell on Halloween. I was really hoping they were going to turn the entire Ark experience into like a giant hell house, and I was dying to see
that would actually be pretty dope.
Yeah,
that would rule. If it was like haunted dinosaurs,
right? Or like you're like trapped outside of the Ark while it's like flooding and killing all of humanity or something. I could see, or like you're walking through the Ark while you're hearing people like bang on the outside, like "let us in" or something. I could see that going real dark, real fast, and being a crazy experience. But no, not that cool.
Instead, we got Dino Bucks.
We got Dino Bucks.
Yeah.
So there it is. That's my slice.
Well, I have a twofer. The first one is about a company that could use a business model that actually works. Maybe they should take a page out of the handbook. This is a company I'm extremely passionate about, and I'm sorry to hear that they're in dire times. The company is Lime Scooters. Now,
have you ever ridden one?
I
do like scooters.
Listen, the words can't express how much I love riding Lime Scooters. It doesn't even to be very far. Like, I can bomb around downtown all day. I can ride them in my neighborhood. There's literally just city around my neighborhood. Like, I love them.
I love them too. I think they're a blast. Every time I go on vacation,
they're fun. They're a big deal in France. I was surprised. Like, they're big in the US, but in France, just like everywhere you look.
Well,
like Daisy.
I mean, listen, 15 miles an hour is pretty fast when you're 2 inches off the ground. Now, the unfortunately, according to a report that was reported by Gizmodo and The Information, Lime is on track to lose $300 million this year.
Wow!
In fact, this is from a report in Gizmodo, and the reason why is very funny, but I will tell you, let me just put this into context. Okay. While points in its favor include an agreement to bring another lead investor that would slightly pump its $2.4 billion valuation and aggressive overseas expansion, the Information has reported that some investors have concluded that the company loses virtually every penny it puts in. And here's why it loses so much money. And this is a quote from the Information report on their what's happening with their business right now. The loss is because of depreciation of its scooters and how much they cost to run warehouses and repair and position the vehicles. With its fleet of 120,000 scooters seeing a life average of just 5 months. They're losing money because people are riding them like maniacs, and I am here for it. I've attempted. You should see the jumps I've attempted. They never, like, I think if people don't aren't familiar with Lime scooters or haven't done them, they are a lot heavier than you would think. There's a lot of electronic components in them. And so you would think that at the speed that you're going, that jumping them off even small curbs would be very easy, but it's not. But that doesn't prevent me. I push every Lime I have to the very limits of what is, like it's not safe what I do. Like I'm weaving in and out, banging into stuff. I play bumper cars. I jousted on Lime scooters one time. I love them. They're toys and they're too fun not to ride like a maniac and break. Okay.
They're so good.
But now it's literally costing them billions. People doing things like I do on Lime scooters. So like I said, which has included jousting, has cost Lime billions of dollars. So they only have one game plan here. They and this is what they've conceded. They only have one game plan, and that game plan isn't to prevent people from doing what you do on a Lime scooter, which is drive like a freaking maniac and try to take it down a set of stairs, even though clearly there's no way that's going to work. That's not their plan. They can't prevent people from having fun. Their plan is to create an extra durable model that they'll hopefully release next year that will be unbreakable, even by people like me who ride it way too fast and purposely crash it and try to do skids and burnouts. And I tried to drift in one time in a puddle, and I laid that bad boy down. But here's the thing. They are coming out with a new model that may be hopefully indestructible, and the entirety of their business relies on it because people just love driving them like insane people.
So do you guys indestructible like shocks, or what are we talking about?
They haven't released like the specifications, but what they see as an opportunity to fix their business, I see as a challenge.
Right.
Unbreakable.
I want to see just how far the limits of these can push. JD, are you a big Lime guy?
I liked it. We don't have them. We have the
bikes.
Yeah, we have the Lime bikes.
Those are lame.
Yeah.
Those are lame.
And they're super lame because like who wants to ride a bicycle when they're scooters?
I have a bike. I don't have an electronic scooter that goes 15 miles an hour. And dude, I've got it downhill, and I think I had one where the governor was broken off. My record is 18 miles an hour downhill on one.
Nice. Yeah, no, they're great. We don't have really a lot of bike lanes down here, and like downtown Orlando is fairly congested already as it is. So like weaving a bike sucks. But like if you could get a little scooter, man, I'd be all about that scooter. That would expand my lunch territory by so much.
I know.
It'd be so
it's
great.
Really fun. It's really, really fun. But people like us are ruining their entire business model. Not because it shouldn't work on paper, but because they keep having to fix them because maniacs are breaking them. All right. That's slice number one.
Have you seen the Instagram page? There's it's called Bird Graveyard.
No.
Bird is another type of Lime scooter.
Yeah.
And it's both Bird and Lime scooters, but it's basically photos and videos of what people have done to them and the wreckage. So
I saw one where this guy, he was just like, he was way too old. Like he was like a hipstery looking young guy, but he wasn't that young. He was clearly like in his 30s, and he's surrounded by his friends, and he is on a ledge that's probably 2.5 feet off the ground. Okay. He gets down in the low position on the Lime, like crouched down as low as he can. And there's slow-mo music going. And his plan is to jump the Lime off of the ledge and land and keep riding as his friends cheer him on. Obviously, someone is filming this. So the video goes to slow-mo, and he's actually pulled up pretty high, like kind of wheelie style, so that he'll land flat. I'm like, dude, he's going to do this, because a lot of times people try to jump stuff and the thing just nosedives right away because it's so top heavy.
Yeah.
But he did the jump. He's flying through the air, and you're like, oh my gosh, man, this guy's going to land it. As soon as he lands it, the entire handlebar from this where it stems onto the actual platform snaps in half, leaving him tumbling to the ground in what can only be presumed is a horrific injury. The video stops there, but it's people like him that are ruining the business. All right, I have a twofer. And I kind of have a surprising take, I think, about this. You guys know me. I tend to be, somewhat libertarian in my leanings, and I do think that the establishment clause that prevents the government from interfering in religion, I think is a very good thing. But this report comes to us from The Hill that did a piece about a bill that will require public schools to, quote, offer elective courses relating to religion, Hebrew scriptures, and the Bible to students in grades 9 through 12. This is what, Tyler, I think you wrote up in your write-up.
That's correct. Yeah.
The idea is that the class will just be an objective study of religion, so it's not really pushing the actual faith onto students. The bill will, quote, follow all state and federal laws and guidelines, maintaining religious neutrality and accommodating the diverse religious views, traditions, and perspectives of all students in the school. So, this is something that I think, because of other positions I've taken on this podcast, people would probably assume that I would be against it. But the more I've thought about it, I actually think that studying religious texts as pieces of literature and as sort of historical artifacts, and even anthropologically, like looking at their impact on the modern world, whether it's the Bible or the Quran or the Torah or any other sacred text. I think knowing about those and having a knowledge of what's in them, how they came together, like how did the Bible historically become what it is?
The councils, like after
Nicaea, I think, even studying it as it's for its literary value, because it's been so influential. And like I said, you could say that about other sacred texts too. I think there's real value in that, as long as it's paired with other sacred texts, so that people can have just basically an understanding for the context of a lot of the tribalism that we see today when it comes to people's idea about faith. Like, I feel like the more we understand what each other's our belief systems, how, holy books have influenced culture and ideas, I feel like that's ultimately could be a net positive. I mean, what do you guys think about this?
Well, I feel like, I think it's a decent idea in theory, like you're talking about. My only concern would be, it's like people go, I mean, like Tyler and I did, you go to schools, the entire college is devoted to studying these texts, and then to plop that on top of all of the work and preparation that a normal teacher already has to do inside the public school setting, I think could be challenging. And then also you're going to bring in some sort of bias as an educator, or maybe not even intentionally biased, but just like your level of understanding. Like, I mean, there are many, even like pastors that I don't think understand the scriptures the way that I feel like they've been written, or from the education, maybe their thoughts or views differ. And there's even a lot of conversation about even what you're talking about, how the scriptures were compiled. There's still arguments over those things. And if there's that stuff going on, if there's kind of like that internal dialogue and discussion going on within our own faith, I don't know who's going to be the person, if you're having to have this at every single school, where are we finding those people to teach this with the right poise and the right
and what kind
clarity.
Of oversight and regulations are going to be involved to make sure that they're actually following the non-establishment clause.
Right. Yeah. That's
which I agree with Jesse. I think it's exactly right. I think the theory would be really valuable. It'd be really cool if it was public schools could be guaranteed or required to raise kids with a good understanding of world religions, and give adherents of that religion and their community a chance to come in and talk about their, the Christian faith, the Catholics, Muslims, Jews, in every community, assuming that you can find some in Podunk, Alabama, or Florida, where I guess this spell is from. It would just take a lot of regulation for the public school system that a lot of people are very resistant to now, because people kind of want to have it both ways. They don't want a lot of oversight and regulation in the public schools, but they do want more things like this. And I don't know how we do both.
Right.
Anybody can crack that nut. Then
I remember
you should be president.
There's multiple semesters that I spent at school, you go through like world religions courses and you kind of like learning it. But of course we were learning it all through the lens of like an evangelical eye of like, how can you take the elements of this particular faith and try to spin them over to Christianity and stuff. And I remember like years and years after school, like meeting people of those faiths and actually discussing their faith with them and being like, well, I understood that this is kind of one of the tenets of your belief. And they'd be like, no, not at all. That's not, that might be some faction, but like most are not that way at all. And you're like, oh gosh. And like, I was going to like college to like learn these things, and the people that are actually living out these different faiths are like, no, that's not what actually we believe remotely.
Right. When your only exposure to Islam is your apologetics course in your private Christian high school, you're not going to be necessarily guaranteed to be getting the best intel on what that religion actually teaches.
Yeah. So I mean, I think, look, I mean, obviously there are a lot of things to be kind of concerned about, but also I think knowledge is a good thing. You know what I mean? As long as
the right bill, I think so. If the right bill was introduced, it doesn't sound like this bill and that we're talking about, it was maybe introduced with the most, knowledge was like the end game of this one. But I think that the theory you're talking about, Jesse, is super interesting, and knowledge is worth 100 dino bucks.
Yeah, a million dino bucks. I feel like that there's I think one of the problems is we tried to like secularize world history and try to strip away a lot of the world religion out of like our world history classes and stuff, and try to only focus on the social or economical impacts of the things. And so you try to strip as much religion out of that to kind of skirt through that and just like, no, we're going to be focused more on the secular idea of it and the materialistic idea of what's happening. But to study the like actual history of the world hand in hand with the world religions that were actually major players in those key moments and decisions and conflicts and things, I think would be brilliant. I think would really help people navigate.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I agree with that. Well, makes sense. That will do it for Slices. When we come back, King's Kaleidoscope is going to join us. Listening to Superbike by Jay Sum. Superbike being the next Lime scooter replacement coming to you.
Sounds pretty rad. That's perfect. I bet I can break one.
Coming up, we're going to be talking to King's Kaleidoscope. First, going to tell you that today's interview is brought to you by the Called Podcast. Jesse, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I do, man. I love being a part of kind of the behind the scenes of the Called Podcast. So for a little context, Called is a podcast that we're doing right now specifically for people in church leadership and ministry. Each week on the show, we try to tackle a different topic that people in ministry deal with, on a weekly basis. Everything from kind of complicated issues like how to address national tragedies and grief in an effective way, how to navigate politics in the pulpit, but also practical stuff like crafting the art of the sermon. Best ways to incorporate worship in the service. We've also had some incredible guests provide us with insights. Everyone, Bianca Olthoff is frequently on the show. We've had Tim Walker Smith. We have a long sit down with N.T. Wright coming up about what the modern church can learn from the early church. We've had John Mark Comer. We've had a ton of awesome guests. If you are in ministry or you just want to share a resource with your pastor, it's free. It's a podcast. Tell them to check out the Called Podcast. We're really excited about it. And check it out. You can get it wherever you get your podcast.
Thanks, Jesse. Now it's time to talk to our friends King's Kaleidoscope. King's Kaleidoscope, the Seattle-based band that uses an eclectic range of modern woodwind, string, and brass instruments for a colorful, stylistic harmony that stands greater than the sum of its parts. Chad Gardner leads the collective of friends, and all hands stretch the canvas until it sings. I got to talk to Chad. He gave me a call from his place up in Seattle. And the first thing I wanted to know about this new album, it's called Zeal, was just kind of what was the ethos? What was the message or ideology that he brought into the creation of this album in particular? Here's what he said.
This was the first album that was where it was inspired by an overwhelming feel from my community as much as myself. And in the past, I'm really writing a lot about myself, and a lot of songs I've written, the first two albums are me talking to God and being frustrated or elated or whatever. This was really like, oh man, I'm just tired of the jadedness in my buddies that I love and the pride of that is like underneath all of this this bitterness and this questioning and deconstructing stuff. And I feel really apathetic and just bored, and I kind of want something that's going to revive me and my buddies.
Tyler, what's interesting is I remember talking to Chad. It's been months now, but we were kind of we kind of talked sonically about his music and some of the songs that he was working on for Zeal. But I like how, Tyler, you're going into here some of these their themes, particularly as it pertains to deconstruction, which I feel like we're in this moment. I feel like, it's hard to think of a time it's more relevant to talk to Chad again when you have, people that are public figures in faith publicly wrestling with deconstruction. We saw what happened with Josh Harris with that former Hillsong worship leader. It's interesting that that's kind of where this discussion ended up going.
It is really where it ended up going. And it was interesting because for all we've talked about, and we have talked a lot about deconstruction on this podcast and at Relevant Magazine, Chad kind of spoke to a feeling of being, in some ways, a little bit over it and feeling like the deconstruction that he sees around him had gone, not to put too many words into his mouth, but maybe had gone a little bit overboard here. I asked him if he felt like that was the case, and here's how he responded.
I think there's nothing wrong with deconstructing all the stuff that needs to be torn down. And I think the problem is that when the way you exercise your faith is just in being a skeptic, you stop having hope and really focusing on what you actually love, which is God and your actual faith that has brought you life. Like you just stop thinking about all the moments in your life where you couldn't explain them and they were magic and you trusted without doubt. But yeah, I don't think it's all bad. And I think that Zeal is definitely a response to an over deconstructing and kind of a staying stuck. There's a season for everything.
Which was it's an interesting take, right? Yeah. The idea that to try to balance that a little bit. And that's what I really wanted to ask him about then, is because Zeal, when you listen to it, and I hope you do, it's a very, very positive, optimistic, even worshipful album. And so I wondered, and I think this is something that a lot of people who have gone through a sort of deconstruction process wonder, is how do you do that without losing what the foundation of your faith? How do you do that without jettisoning that sense of hope and faith that you want, and that is very, very important to a lot of people, that people really treasure and value about their faith process, while still being going through this process that for many people is very, very necessary. And I thought his answer was really interesting. It's a little bit longer. I hope you'll listen to the whole thing, because I thought his insights were very poignant.
I'm doing it. I'm just a regular, brother here in the faith that's trying to do it. So all I can say is, for myself, look, I come from a not charismatic background. I come from being heavily influenced by all of the craziness that was the Mars Hill world when I was 15 years old, and I was part of that till I was 25. So I come from a world that's like, this is the blueprint. You can put your feet on this theology. Like, this systematic theology is rock solid, and like all these like 10 steps for this and 3 steps for that. Like, and the older that I'm getting, the more I'm like, wow, I can sit here and either build a whole other worldview and theology and all this stuff, or I can deconstruct my old one, and I can kind of sit in this circle in my mind a lot. And I can just listen to podcasts all day and really read books all day and talk about this stuff. But for me personally, I don't know that really is ever what truly builds like the most true faith in my own, like the deepest part of my soul. The truest faith that I've built in my soul has been from tragedy in my life. It's been through really hard kind of trials where I've really needed God. And it's been through the most consistent, deepest times of prayer and, and honestly, just like scripture. And so I come at this like from not a charismatic background going like, man, how many in myself and how many of my friends, it's like, well, we have all these deep questions about God. And it's like, okay, I don't really think I can say to myself, I'm really trying to find God unless I actually seek him in the bare bones prayer and scripture, like every day.
So I think that I appreciate how difficult what he's trying to say there is, because he doesn't want to knock the deconstruction process. And I don't think he's calling people to just like shut up and accept what they were told. But he also wants to make sure that there is not it's easy to, once you start a process of deconstruction, to stay in it and to lose all interest in trying to reconstruct something valuable out of that. That's something we've talked about on here too. And I'm glad that he is trying to help people move to another stage of their spiritual journey. And Zeal is a really good soundtrack for doing something just like that. And if you're interested in listening to it, I'd recommend it. It's available anywhere you listen to your music. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's Ask the Cast. You're listening to Won't Let You. That was by More. And it is time for Ask the Cast. That's where we ask you, the listener, to come at us with a few of your questions, things you want to know, the takes you want to get. In case you didn't get enough hot takes from the cast in the first part of this podcast, we close it down with a few more of those ready to go. So we're going to read a few of the questions that we got just now, and I hope you guys are ready for this. All right, here's an interesting one from Frank Gill. Frank asked, if you could be in charge, this one is particularly relevant to you guys there in Florida. If you could be in charge of a new land in Disney World, what would it be and what kind of rides would it have?
I will answer this one, JD. I'm sure you have strong opinions, but I think the answer is obvious. It's Lime Land. And Lime Land is nothing but jumps. And like those bobsled, like kind of racetracks that are wind through. That's what it is. Course, it's like a roller derby type of situation too.
Nice.
It's Lime Land, and it'd be awesome. And you can just smash them to bits.
So you're suggesting Disney go into a partnership that would really help with Lime's financial issues that they're struggling with right now. Disney's got infinite money, and this theme park might be the way to go.
Throw some of that Marvel money at that, man. Figure out, incorporate them into the MCU. We got one of their heroes is so lame. He's got a bow and arrow. Okay. Give one of them like a cool scooter. Like if you gave Hawkeye a scooter, do you know how much more efficient of a superhero he'd be? Like literally he is so lame and he has so little powers that a scooter would dramatically affect his lethalness. So I don't know. Figure it out, Disney.
JD, you have any idea? You're a bit of a Disney aficionado.
Yeah, I really like Disney. We try to go a ton, but we try to pick times when no one else is going. I don't know. I feel like they're doing a lot of stuff with the parks now where they're adding a lot more of their like IPs into the parks and stuff.
Right.
So that gets a little tricky. I don't know if they have an IP left that's maybe big enough to hold an entire land, since they're not allowed to do like a Marvel one because of Universal. But I actually think a neat thing would be like a villains island. So you have like the Haunted Mansion, which is like the one like kind of scary ride, but it's like Disney scary. So it's not really scary. Yeah. It's like a fun scary. I think an entire like themed area where it's just like where all of the villains hang. So you have a bunch of the kind of like
Jafar and Scar.
Sure,
and all that,
you can have it like
all them.
Maleficent could like kind of be the queen over the area or whatnot, and just let them have fun with some of their like Disney styled, or like a Halloween Town kind of vibe from A Nightmare Before Christmas kind of thing. Cause that's what they do for Mickey's Not So Scary, is they kind of take the Magic Kingdom and let all those kind of characters take over. And it's a huge success. Like tons of people around here go all the time. It's constantly sold out and full. And I just think that it could be a fun, like, counter to the rest of the Disney property to have.
That's an interesting idea.
I got an idea too, just how we can improve the whole experience. Is they introduce Dino Bucks into the situation. You get enough, you collect enough of them. John MacArthur will yell at you and tell you how wretched you are, and then you have to celebrate it.
Or John MacArthur yells at you until you acquire enough Dino Bucks for him to go away. Like you have to, you return to the park. John MacArthur begins immediately berating you.
It's like an escape room, except you have the escape room is a John MacArthur party, and you have to figure out the way to get out because it's like the worst room to be in ever. Get me out, please! Someone help me!
You're just waiting for him to tell you to go home so you can leave.
Please let me go home, John MacArthur.
Go home. Thank you.
Home. I'm trying.
That's all I want. There's nothing I want more than to be out of here, John MacArthur.
So this one comes to us from his Twitter handle is Homie the Clown.
Okay.
I don't know if that's his Christian name or if this is one of those Halloween.
I think it's
Halloween fake names.
I'm pretty sure it's a very dated In Living Color reference.
Homie, don't play that.
That would be very dated. I've not even, but this is it's an interesting question with sort of a disappointing caveat. I'll explain. My hall in my dorm is in a prank war with a rival hall. What can we do to effectively end the war? And here's the caveat, while avoiding any lawsuits or felony charges. So the stipulation kind of backs off from the cliff there a little bit, but let's go ahead.
I can handle this because here's the thing about prank wars. They're really fun, right? And so the key to ending the prank war is ending the fun. Here's what I think you need to do. I think you need to have John MacArthur come in. just talk to everyone in the dorm about whatever he wants to talk about. I guarantee you, they're going to be like, this is terrible. Prank war's over. And there's no more fun. There's no more fun. This is super lame. All the fun is ruined. It is ruined by John MacArthur. There you go. Hey, Tyler, you know we haven't done in a couple weeks. I think we should do. We need to ask an editorial question of the week, and I have one.
And you have one. You have one right now, ready to go.
I have one in the holster.
Let's go! I can't wait. I'm so excited about it. All right, it's time for this week's
editorial question of the week.
All right. What do you think?
All right. Well, we are coming. I feel like we do this every year, but I feel like I want to hear people's timely and or biblical Halloween costume ideas.
Yeah,
right?
it's time.
So,
or All Hallows Eve, or
a Harvest Party,
or what have you, Harvest Party,
whatever.
Yeah.
We want to know. Make them timely. Make them about something. Make them about something happening. Be a very scary monster like John MacArthur. Figure out a timely, funny costume and send it to us at Relevant Podcast on Twitter.
We would like to. We usually put together a little listicle on the website.
We do.
If we get some good ones, you might be included. We'll give you credit. Over on the website as well. If you got some good ideas,
we'll transform this into a list. I mean, past ones have been Noah's rock monsters from the Noah movie.
Was a really great one.
Zombie Kevin Sorbo from the God's Not Dead films. I believe the description was in life he tried to change people's brains. In death, he'll try to eat them. So think long and hard about these timely Halloween costumes, and we'll let them rip next week.
And if you're really doing them too, send us some pictures. So it'd be fun to see if you're really going for it, if you're really committed. I hope none of you are celebrating Halloween. Obviously, this is a PG-13 podcast, but if so, we'd take a look. Thanks for that, Jay. That has been awesome since we had an editorial question of the week. This will be fun.
This will be a good one. This will be a fun one.
Be good to hear from the bleachers. Well, and with that, I think it is time to wrap it up. Many thanks to King's Kaleidoscope for joining us. Please check out their album Zeal, wherever you listen to your music. Also, make sure to check out Feels. Become a member today by going to feels.com/relevant. You'll get 50% off your first order with free shipping. That's Feels, FEALS.com/relevant. Also, make sure you check out Called. Download that show. Jesse's doing a really, really great job with that content. It's really, if you're interested in the church at all and church leadership, it's a great listen, and I'm really happy with the guests they've been getting. It sounds good, Jesse. You're doing good work out there.
Thanks, and thanks to Josh and the whole team there. I'm been doing behind the scenes, but it's those leaders that have been gracious enough to kind of share their insight with us that's really made it a great show.
And make sure when you go over to the Relevant podcast page, check out Daily as well. The Relevant Daily is our daily 10-minute look at the intersection of faith and culture, what you need to know from your day. It's brought to you by yours truly. And while you're there, you can also subscribe to the magazine. We do a print magazine here at Relevant. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but it's a good one. We're wrapping up 102 as we speak, and issue 101 is shipping now. If you hurry, you can get your hands on that. And I think that'll do it for us this week. I'm Tyler Huckabee.
I'm Chandler String.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm John David Harris.
And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
Get me out, please. Someone help me. I'm just going to smash the door down.
Relevant Podcast Network.